Oh, so much love. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Hi. 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 So we wanted to do a little bit of a side-by-side video of the last 3 available pups for people to choose from, and tell you a little bit about some of our observations of these 3 and how they compare, some of the things that make them unique from the others. And so I'll just start going through each one. I'll start with these 2 first, since they're right here by me. Orange Dot and Green Dot are both from Willow and Cliff, and they're built very similar to Willow. All of these pups that we currently have with us right now are all raised together and fed the same food and given the same opportunity to eat and whatnot. And you can see there's a little bit of a difference in their overall body condition and build structure. These 2 are built like their mom, Willow. She's tall and very lean, and kind of a more slender build, a little bit narrower in the shoulders. And so these 2 pups are gonna look very similar to their mama. Green, I would say he's on the light side of what we would consider the normal weight of what we want our puppies to look like. Orange is right in the middle, weight-wise. And then Mr. Yellow Chevron here, he's on probably the heavy side of what we would consider average for puppies of this age. And so Mr. Yellow Chevron here, he's out of Meadow and Cliff, and he's kind of built like his mom. Meadow's not super tall, but she's kind of got the width on her body condition and her frame that's a little bit wider overall for proportions. So Yellow Chevron, he's probably going to be built like his mom a little bit, and he's probably going to, oh, there's some teeth. Somebody was going for the towel and got the puppy in the middle. So these guys love to play like that. So it's important as they grow with their litter mates to be kept together for up to that 7 and 8 week mark, because they learn a lot from each other's teeth. They learn a lot about bite inhibition and how it feels to be bit and what their teeth can do. And so they're going through their teething stage and their mouthing stage, where they get mouthy with each other and they learn what that feels like. So as far as Mr. Yellow Chevron goes here, he's probably got the coloring like his dad, and then he's probably gonna, my guess is he's gonna be kind of a similar structure to his dad as far as height goes. Meadow's pretty short, but Yellow is not. And so I'm thinking he's gonna be a little bit wider built and get the height from his dad, and then he's got kind of that width from his mom. And then these 2 are both going to be probably taller and very slender Vizsla builds. And so these 2 are both a little bit darker in overall color and whatnot. So I would say Orange Dot and Green Dot, they're pretty dang close as far as their color goes. Maybe Orange is a little bit darker overall color, with Yellow Chevron being the lighter out of these 3 pups. And then as far as personality goes, you may have noticed I put together a little spotlight video of each of the pups, and I did 5, 6, 7 minutes with the pups, and I just wanted to kind of do the same thing with each of the puppies, so that you could see how the puppies kind of interacted with the same type of opportunities. And so I just got in that little grassy area of the playpen and just played with them a little bit, cuddled with them, played with some toys with them, and you kind of had a chance to see how they responded in that different, in a very similar situation. They responded a little bit differently. Mr. Green Dot, he is very people oriented. When he doesn't have these other pups around, he loves to just be held and be with people. And even after he's with the pups, he's one of the first ones to kind of get tired of playing with toys, and he wants to be held by his people. And so you saw that in the video where he almost didn't want to play toys at all. He chooses people over playing when he has that opportunity. And so Green is one of the ones that just also loves to play with his litter mates. You'll notice that as well in some of the videos. He loves to kind of play toys with them and play keep away, and loves to run around and do that. So I'm thinking he's probably one of the ones that's going to be very people oriented and very people motivated. All three of these are going to be, but out of the three, I think Green Dot is going to share that trait a little bit more. Orange Dot and Yellow Chevron, they're pretty close as far as temperaments and similarity goes. As far as dominance or submissiveness, all three of these guys, I would say, range pretty close together in that kind of temperament category. You know, I don't think any of these three are really submissive compared to each other, and I don't think any of these three are overly dominant compared to the other three. And so, obviously, with different scenarios, with different puppies involved and whatnot, you see different personality traits come out and things like that. So, in this kind of a video, you'll see these three just together doing their thing, and kind of see which ones take charge or which ones kind of dish it out, and the other ones that soak it in a little bit, and then later which ones come back and do that as well. So as far as energy level goes, they're all pretty similar as far as energy level goes. I would say any of these three are going to be able to, you know, as mature Vizslas, going to be able to get out there and run and play, and just go with any other Vizsla out there. They're all going to have that really good high energy personality to them. And then trying to think of any other of the differences or unique traits to them. I should probably go over some of their markings with you on them. I'm going to grab Mr. Yellow here really fast and hold him up. As far as his toes go, he doesn't have much on his toes. Hey, big boy. Hey, how you doing? On his chest, he's got the marking on his chest, and then under his collar, we've had some puppies have the markings under his collar. His isn't probably showing up at all if he's got them at this point. And so he wants to play with his litter mates here, don't you? Yeah. Okay, we'll do Mr. Green next. As far as his toes, he's pretty solid on his toes. Just a couple lighter toenails as far as that goes. And then on color goes, on his chest, he's looking pretty solid. Just a very slight hint. Hi, Mr. Orange. You want to steal the show? Hi. On his, let's see, on his chest, he's got the slightest, lighter kind of shadowing on his chest. He might be considered solid on his chest, and then under his neck, I'm not seeing any markings there for Mr. Green. And so, he just loves the people. Yeah, just loves it. So sometimes we'll kind of pull them out of the mix, lay them on their back and see how they're doing. And I've got a potty I've got to clean up. I just woke them up from their nap, and so they're kind of loaded weapons. I'm going to clean that up really fast here. Hi. back. Got that cleaned up. So, go ahead and keep playing here. So Mr. Orange on his markings, he's got a pretty defined orange dot here. He's got the pretty defined mark. Kind of looks like an arrowhead here, right there. And then maybe just a hint of it kind of off to the side on his chest. Mr. Green's going to try to make a break for it here. And then he's got a little hint of it right underneath the collar area on his neck. So he's probably the most marked out of these three. And so, hey, Mr. Green, you can't get out. You can't get out. No. Yeah. Mr. Green here is quite adventurous. I don't know if you can see that on the video. He was trying to make a go for it. He wants to climb out. He can climb a little bit on these puppy pen gates. So he's quite adventurous that way. Smart little guys, they are. All three of them, very smart. They're going to pick up on training very fast. All three of them will. So these are all three great pups, and we hope this little kind of side-by-side video is giving you some insight to them. This is kind of I would call this our typical puppy level of energy that they're displaying here. They're pretty energetic at the moment. Like I mentioned, it's here in the evening. We had them out playing in the afternoon, outside in the warm sun. We're enjoying some warm November temperatures right now. And so they had a really good long play time out there this afternoon. Then we brought them in. Then they were down napping for a couple of hours, and now we're here in the evening, and they're kind of woke up and ready to rock and roll again. So this is pretty standard energy levels with these three right now. You'll see that they'll run around and play and wrestle, and this kind of behavior we just saw between yellow and green. It's very typical and actually very normal. It's very healthy for them to kind of mouth each other, nip at each other, even biting each other. There's a lot that they learn from one another through that process. So Orange Dot does the same thing. You know, we shouldn't single him out as the only one that doesn't do that. He definitely does. They all take turns dishing it out, and they learn from each other and take it when they can take it and give it when they give it. So, hi guys. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So, they're all really good pups. They're doing really good. We're very pleased with their growth and how well they're doing, and hope you enjoy this little video. We're just going to let the video keep rolling here and let them keep playing. If I think of something as far as any of the insights, I'll share that with you. Mr. Orange, he's getting feisty here with me. That's normal puppy behavior, and I'll just mention some of the things that we do when the pups get a little bit nippy with us, and we just say, hey, that's not fun anymore. I'm just kind of demonstrating this right now. You can either stick your hand farther into their mouth. If they're nipping on you and they're on skin, we don't want them to learn that skin is another chew toy for them. Humans aren't like another puppy. They can't just chew on us forever like they can with other dogs. And so something that we'll do with them is we just kind of slide our hand all the way to the back of their mouth till they know that they're not in control anymore, and they want to kind of spit you out. And that takes a long time for them to pick up that, hey, this isn't fun to have humans be a chew toy anymore. But it does work, and it's not a harsh way of teaching them not to bite or mouth or nip people. It's quite a gentle approach, and it also helps them learn that humans are in control as well. And so when they lose control of the situation, it also helps to establish yourself as alpha in their eyes, that you are in control of their situations that come about. And so this little process of just sticking your hand farther back into the mouth, you know, we feel like that's been something that we've done in the past and it works for us. It does take time. It's not an overnight fix for any mouthing things, but it does work over time. So that's something that we've done in the past. You'll see them mouth each other or pull on each other's ears or bite each other's tail or their feet or something like that. Get a mouthful, and every once in a while the pups will yelp when the other pup has been too rough. And so we've done that as well. Sometimes if a pup gets us too much, then we'll yelp. We'll just make a high-pitched yelping sound just like a pup makes. And that's a known puppy language for ouch, that hurt. And it teaches them pretty fast. But when we stop the interaction at that point and yelp, then they've gone too far with that. So that's a little tip in some of our training videos that we share. So Mr. Green, I'll point this out, his green dot and brown dot are the only ones that have figured out these little Nerf balls that have the squeaker in them. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. He's making that squeak. He's figured out that these little tennis balls have a squeaker in them, and they know how to do it. So I'm going to set this one off and let these guys play with it. They just love that sound. They go crazy for it. So, hey, here you go. There's the ball. Go get it. Yeah, go get it. Good puppies. Yeah, good puppies. They just heard Meadow. We've got Meadow in the other room in our great room. And she's over there feeling left out. So she wants to come over. You might hear her whining in the background. So they just heard Mama Doggy over there, huh? So just let the camera keep rolling a little bit. You'll see that they do start to wind down, even though they can be wound up. At this age, when we're out playing with them and they've had, a good nap and they've had a big meal, their normal activity level, they'll keep going for about I would say a good half hour, 45 minutes, and up to an hour of pretty active, high energy play time like this, where they'll just keep going and run around the yard and playing. And for this age, that's pretty normal for that activity level to be, about that duration. And then they'll kind of taper off like they are now, kind of settle down, find a toy that they want to play with, and work on that toy for a little bit. These little tennis balls, they don't last super long at this age. They start to shred them and pull them apart. We always have to keep picking this fuzz up. So they'll kind of work on that fuzz. They love to pulling the fuzz off, and they'll do that. So, do you guys hear Mama over there? Do you hear Meadow? Yeah? Do you hear her over there? She's not gonna come over. Nope. You hear her over there? Yeah. Hi. Hi, Mr. Green. Mr. Yellow. Hi. Hi. Yes. Something that we do to kind of determine a little bit of, help establish, I should say, a little bit of our alpha with these pups, is we'll just roll them over on their back. That's a very submissive position for them to be in, and we want them to feel safe with people and feel like they can be submissive and vulnerable with people. And so we'll just roll them over on their back like this, kind of cradle them like a baby, hold them like this, and let them know that they can be with humans, and let the human kind of be alpha, the leader, control the situation a little bit, roll them over, let them be vulnerable, and put them on their back and let them feel safe with us. And they're all very comfortable with this. None of them have any reservations about being in this position with us. We do tell people, you know, this is a good position to put the pups in. Hey, my shirt's not a chew toy. That kind of helps you establish a bond with them, that they can trust you in that kind of a position and feel safe, and that they don't get hurt or anything like that. So you can do all of that with all three of these pups, and they're pretty good with it. So, except when they got their litter mate trying to crawl all over us, huh? Yeah. Hey. Good boy. Good boy. Hi. You feeling left out, Mr. Yellow? You feeling left out? Hi. 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 You guys hear Mama? Huh? I'm not gonna have her come over. She'll steal the show. She'll steal the show. Yeah. Well, we hope that's provided a little bit of insight about these pups. There are some subtle differences about them. They've got their own things that make them unique, both in personality and in looks and in their body build and things like that. So we hope that helps you guys make some choices on which one may be a good fit for your family. So let us know if you have any other questions.